Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you are new here. I am Martina Lily and today is part 2 of my 2023 makeup favorites. So the video before this one would have been my 2023 complexion favorites, like primer, foundation, concealer, so on and so forth. This one is all about the bronzers, blushes and highlighters. And this video is kind of the reason why I ended up separating these instead of doing one giant one, because I have so many in each of these categories that I love and adore this year. And I was like, I can't pick between these kids, so we're just gonna separate it. So yeah, the next video I believe should be like brows, mascaras, single shadows and lips, and then we will do my yearly palette ranking. So hopefully all of that sounds interesting to you guys. If it does, go ahead and do the YouTubey things, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let's get started. A couple of little housekeeping details like we always do. This look is coming. This is one of my New Year's Eve looks for next week, so stay tuned. It'll be up early next week. It is the Adept Minka palette on my eyes, if you're wondering. All of the products that I mentioned in today's video will be linked in the description box down below for you guys. They are affiliate links, so if you shop through them, truly thank you so much. I appreciate it. And just remember, this is all very much my opinion. You can love these, you can hate these, all of that kind of jazz. You know, we're all different and that is okay. So let's start off with cream bronzers, then we'll do powder bronzers, and then, you know, the next ones. I'll also try and put timestamps down below, like on the video, sorry, if you're only interested in certain parts. Oh, I should also say, I apologize, one more thing. In case you haven't caught yesterday's or the video before this one, this is makeup that I've just tried this year only, so it's not like my all-time favorites ever. It's just like out of all of the new makeup that I tried in my collection this year, these are my favorites. So the LYS Cream Bronzer Stick. I picked this up. This is in the shade Motivate. I picked this up because at the start of the year, I did a trying my favorite makeup YouTubers, like makeup favorites for last year. What a weird sentence I just said. Anyway, and this was Andrea Ali's favorite cream bronzer, and I totally get it. It is absolutely amazing. I don't think that this product gets the hype and love it deserves for a couple of reasons. One, it is just a beautiful product. It's very emollient. Think like if you've tried the Anastasia Beverly Hills cream bronzer, it's almost like that formula, but in a stick. It's also a true bronzer, so it's not a contour or anything. I would actually love them to also bring out a shade of, or a range of these exact formulas, but in contour shades as well. That would be perfect. But it's just so easy. You need like a small amount, but it just blends. Even if you accidentally put too much on, it just blends out so naturally and beautiful. It's just this perfect kind of like natural finish on the skin. It's a lovely bronzer shade. And I don't know, it's a great price point. I like the packaging. I kind of secretly, I know some people don't like this like triangle edge. I like it because I like to like, if you put it there, it like comes to a point. I find it's really easy to just like blend out and everything. I don't know, I just think this is such a great product, and I know it was released last year, so that's probably why it doesn't get any hype anymore, but like, don't sleep on it. It's so good. Let's get the ridiculously expensive, actually no, this isn't the only ridiculously expensive one, but it is ridiculously expensive for the amount of product you get in it. So this is the Victoria Beckham contour stick, and I have the shade, I think it's Travertine, yes, and this is just so expensive for the amount of product you get in it, and it's such a shame because oh, the product in this is so good. The shade is like this perfect kind of contour shade. Even this like little wand, like it could be slightly thicker in my personal opinion, but it's also really good to like strategically contour, especially if you are someone that loves a nose contour, you will love this, but I love using it all over my face. The formula is so, so good. Like it just blends itself, perfect shade, long wearing, great finish, all of that jazz. I totally get it if you're just like, that's ludicrous, because the amount of money that this was, I can't even remember how much it was. I think it was like 60 or something, or 70 Australian dollars, and it is the smallest amount of product, but my God, the formula is so good. This product here did not really wow me, but then like the more I used it, the more I got wowed, and now I'm just like obsessed and will absolutely repurchase it if I use it up. And that is the Tarte Sculpt Tape Stick. So this is in the shade Cool Bronze, and it's kind of like, you know, a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury one. But I like this one so much better than the Charlotte Tilbury one. I truly do. And I do actually have a review on my channel where I've compared the Tarte ones versus the Charlotte Tilbury ones. I think this is way better. One, the shade range so much better. Like, Charlotte Tilbury still only has 2 shades in her contour wand. Like, how and why? That product is one of the best, like, most talked about, raved about products in the beauty like industry, and yet you still only have 2 shades. Okay, it feels intentional, but this one has a really decent shade range. Also, I personally find the formula of this one better. I don't super love that Charlotte Tilbury one. In fact, I think I'm alone, and a controversial don't come for me. I find a lot of Charlotte Tilbury products honestly really just overhyped. I do, for the price point and the quality of them. And I find the contour one, it like lifts the products underneath, and I don't put it on over powder or anything. I just have to be really mindful with it. I just don't love it. This one is beautiful. It's actually the cream contour I'm wearing today. It's just like a really nice shade. It blends itself. It's very lightweight. It's so, like, it's not heavy on the skin. It is so thin and lightweight on the skin because it has that gel texture. And I really think this is well and truly worth a look in. Honestly, I think this product is highly slept on. This product I had years and years ago, before I even had my channel, I think, or maybe when I very first started my channel, when she just dropped the brand, and I just hadn't repurchased it and saw this like holiday set, and I was like, I'm gonna repurchase it. And since I've been trying it again, I was like, wow, this product is actually just that good. And it is the Westman Atelier Biscuit Contour Stick. Well, I have the shade Biscuit. She has expanded her shade range now. Now, this is a little mini one, which is pretty good for me. I have a lot of products, so if I can get minis, I prefer it. Again, it kind of reminds me of, I guess, a bigger version of the Victoria Beckham contour stick, in the sense that it is that beautiful, lovely contour shade, really just easy to blend, emollient, lovely finish on the skin, hardly looks like you're wearing any makeup at all. It's so lightweight and just very fuss free. Expensive, but absolutely impeccable. And you'll notice, like, when I talk about these products, a lot of the time you're just going to hear me say fuss free, blurring, buildable, soft, like easy to blend, great shade, you know. And it's true, like, these are all favorite products of mine because they meet my makeup aesthetic, which is usually, say it with me, soft, blurring, usually a natural finish, easy to blend out. So just keep that in mind. I probably sound very repetitive. And the last cream bronzer that I have as a favorite this year, one that is so raved about, especially within the makeup artist community, but I've just always held out. And then this year I was like, had this moment where I was like, that's it, I need it in my collection. And I am so glad that I did pick this up. And this is the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate Cream Bronzer and Highlighter Duo. Now, I'm actually gonna skip ahead a little bit. I'm also going to include this highlight in my favorite liquid highlighters and cream highlighters of the year, which really surprises me, because truly one of the reasons why I never picked this product up was because I thought that I wouldn't like the highlight, but it's absolutely beautiful. So I don't know if you can see, the highlight is there, which you probably can't tell much, and then that is the Shade and Illuminate there. This product, again, like, you need the smallest amount of this cream bronzer, so even though it's really expensive, it's going to last you a really long time, but so emollient, just blends out impeccably, and such a great shade. It's just a high quality product. It really is. It makes doing your cream contour or bronzer so easy. And like, even this liquid highlighter, it is so natural. It just melts into the skin, and it looks like you are just ethereally glowing from within, like a beautiful angel that you are. And I put the highlighter specifically over powder, and it doesn't lift any of my products underneath. It's wonderful. I don't have as many powder bronzers as I do, I think, cream bronzers. But the ones I've tried this year in the powder bronzers are wow, truly wow. So the first one, this is the Pat McGrath Labs powder bronzer. So what does she call it? The Skin Fetish Divine Bronzer in Nude Honey. I've been using this all year since I picked it up. Like, even the imprinting is worn away. Most of the times when I'm just like picking a bronzer without really thinking about it, this is the one I'm reaching for. It's just, you know, sometimes with Pat McGrath Labs products, they're so good, but you can't pinpoint why. And like, I find that more so with her complexion products, especially, like even her blushes, when you first try them, you're like, oh yeah, they're a blush. But then like, the more you use them, and all of a sudden you also find yourself just like wanting to reach for them every day, because for some reason they are the most impeccable, stunning products to use. But like, when you first try them, they don't like instantly blow you away, because I don't know how to describe it. Anyway, this is like that. Again, soft, blurring, buildable. You can put it on in the dark. It's not going to look crazy or anything like that, which I personally love. This shade and the shade range of this is really, really good. But this shade in particular for like me is such a beautiful like neutral undertone. I absolutely love it. And it looks very undetectable in the skin. Like this is really a strong bronzer to check out. I think a close second to this one, these might be my top 2 of the year, but that doesn't mean that the others still aren't like 1 millimeter behind these. This is the Tom Ford Soleil, oh sorry, Glow Bronzer. Why can't I not speak? This is your guys' fault. So many of you like kept commenting saying that I absolutely had to try this Tom Ford bronzer. So I picked this up with the shade and Illuminate duo. You guys are right. This is so lovely. So if you find the Pat McGrath Labs bronzer a little bit too flat and matte for you, it's not like overly matte, but it's definitely more of a matte finish. But you want something that's got a little bit more like, I want to say glow to it, but this isn't glowy. It's like a very healthy, subtle glow. So even if you have oily skin, don't be afraid. It doesn't enhance texture or anything, but it just lifts your skin a little bit in more of like a soft candlelight glow, if you will. I don't know if that makes sense. But that's what this does. And again, it's like buildable, blurring, long wearing, all that stuff, but it just has a slightly more like dimensional finish to it than what the Pat one does. And it's stunning. Absolutely rotten shade range. Absolutely rotten. But the formula itself is creme de la creme. This one as well, I wanted it, but it was like 95 Australian dollars, I think, and it's like that's expensive, okay? And then my friend Aura, as she does, she was up in my DMs being like, girl, you need this bronzer. And then Simply Blair got it, and Blair was like, yeah, this is amazing, you need it. And so I was like, okay, well, obviously I need it. So this is the Surratt Soleil BeautyArtistique bronzer. I have the shade, I think Soleil might be the shade actually. Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I don't really swatch powder bronzers because I don't swatch super well. Again, rotten shade range. Like there's only 2 shades. That's disgusting. But this is like a almost a gel to powder type formula. Think like House Labs bronzer formula, but even a little bit more like gel-like. Absolutely blurring, flawless, stunning, gorgeous. I cannot get enough of this particular bronzer. It is so, so good. You cannot fault it. It's like a cloud on the skin. It truly is, but the shade range is appalling. A brand that absolutely has just taken me by surprise this year with how good a quality their products are, especially their makeup products, is Sigma Beauty. And this is their bronzer and I love it. This formula truly reminds me so much of the Pat McGrath Labs bronzer formula. It really, really does. And the only reason why this doesn't tie with the Pat bronzer is this is definitely more warm toned, whereas I do appreciate that the Pat bronzer is a lot more straight neutral. So if Sigma would like to expand their bronzer shade range and include a couple of more like straight neutralish tones, I'd be stoked. But in saying that, I do like having this in my collection as a more warm tone bronzer for those kinds of looks that I want. You know, I like to have different tones. I like to mix it up. It's all good. But the formula is pretty much the same, I personally find, as the Pat McGrath Labs one. It is impeccable. Like, I love it. Do not sleep on Sigma as a brand, especially for their makeup, truly. I, for the first time this year, tried like Nars. I know. I just had never really deep dived in their products before. And this year I think I did like a full face review of Nars actually. It's up on my channel. I did it towards the start of the year and I discovered their Laguna bronzer. This is the Talc-Free version. Their original and the Talc-Free, this is actually the powder bronzer I'm wearing today. Wow. Wow. I understand it's an old product. It's not a new product, although technically this was released this year. It is such an old favorite for a reason. It really is. This bronzer is so good. Again, you can just tell. It's like photoshopping on the skin. It really is. This one has a bit more pigment and oomph to it than the other bronzers I've mentioned. So if you do prefer a softer bronzer formula, this one might not be for you. But if you want something with a little bit more oomph to it, this is for you. I mean, I personally still find it's completely fine. They have a pretty decent shade range of this as well, and it's just really like, it's an old classic cult favorite, truly for a reason. Moving on to highlighters. I love a good highlighter. I really do. I know that like highlight apparently is just not cool anymore, but you'll pry it from my cold dead hands. I've tried 3 incredible liquid highlights this year. Now I've tried even more than these 3 highlights this year that are absolutely stunning, but these 3 are mind-blowing. mind-blowing. Like, you know, very rarely I say to you guys, run, don't walk to pick up a product, but honestly, out of any of these three, run, don't walk. Truly. First one, you absolutely know. The Gucci liquid highlight. Like, look how much I've used in just this year alone. I love this stuff. It is I have this in so many videos. I have a dedicated review. So good. It is the most natural highlight on the skin. Absolutely incredible. And I really do think this would probably suit like all skin tones, just because once it's blended out, you really can't see any like tint to it, but it has just enough of like a bronzy tint to it that I don't think it would look ashy or like weird on deeper skin tones. I could be very wrong about that. So if you have a deeper skin tone, please let us know in the comments. But I feel like it might. And it is just stunning. Absolutely stunning. It is so natural. You can put it on over powder, under powder. You could even mix it in with your foundation, use it as a primer, all that kind of stuff. Like, honestly, this is the highlight of the year for me. It really is absolutely flawless. Next up is the Westman Atelier liquid highlighter. This is in Peau de Rose. I have this on underneath a powder highlight today. Again, another one that you have seen me just absolutely rave about all year. I love this. I want Peau de Pêche too. It's on my wish list. I just love it. It is definitely more of like a skincare vibe than say, actually no, yeah, it feels a little bit more of a skincare vibe than the Gucci one, but they are quite similar. And this one goes, again, really well over powder, under powder, but very, very natural. Very natural. And it's also really versatile. You can use this as a primer, mix it in with your foundation. I've seen Michelle Wong use this as an under eye primer as well before she puts her concealer and stuff on, which I keep forgetting to try, so stay tuned, I will try that. But it's just, again, creme de la creme. I cannot tell you enough how much I absolutely love and adore it. And I know it looks smaller and it's expensive, don't get me wrong, but there is actually 30 ml of product in this. And this one just seems crazy, but wow, wow, wow. And everyone keeps sleeping on this brand. I keep saying it, but run, don't walk. This is the Rabanne Metal Shot. Now, this is the metal shot, not the glitter shot. I mean, you can get the glitter shot if you want, but you know, I like the metal shot. And it looks crazy, right? And this is a really versatile product. You can really mix this in with like powder eyeshadows, cream eyeshadows, like whatever you want, you can mix it in with it. But see how crazy it looks right here? But then, and it's gonna look a little crazy just because I've put so much on, but you can blend this out to be so natural and stunning. Like, it really melts into the skin. It doesn't look, you can like, if you use a smaller amount, you can put it on and it's just like this beautiful, again, ethereal, natural glow. Over, under powder, doesn't matter. But you can as well, if you want to, really strategically like tap like a small amount on and you'll get that like proper blinding like face tune highlight effect as well, which I absolutely love. So I just think this is such an awesome, versatile product. It is so good. So good and really quite affordable, especially considering Rabanne is a luxury brand. And yeah, I just honestly, I think it's worth a go. I really do. All three of those, I don't think you can go wrong. I mean, technically they're all three different shades, so why not all? Powder highlights. I tried quite a few powder highlights in this year as well that were really, really solid. But these are the ones that like my mind goes to when I think of like the highlighters that I want to use, especially at the moment and from this year. Honestly, I think my favorite highlight from this year is actually the What's Up Beauty. Are these the Serengeti highlighters, both of them? Yeah. One, look at that packaging. Oof, absolutely gorgeous. And then you look at the imprinting and like, isn't that just so cute? And you basically get like 3 highlighters in one with these particular products. So there's the 2 shades and you get, this one's like champagne and pink and then you can mix them together, and then this one's like a white one and a pink and you can mix them together. I like having both of these shades because sometimes I want more of a champagne or I want this icy one. But the thing that I love the most about this particular highlighter from What's Up is that it is very, very natural on the skin. It's like a liquid highlight in powder form. It really is. So for me, this is like, as I'm getting older with texture and all that jazz, it's like the perfect way to like set a cream highlight where it still just looks extremely natural and stunning and very, very ethereal. The next one that's probably like my second fave that I've tried so far this year is definitely this Tom Ford Soleil Neige Glow Highlighter in Rose Iris. I'm so glad that Aura talked me into picking this up. It's actually the powder highlight I'm wearing today. Absolutely stunning, absolutely stunning. There is a gold version of this as well. And again, one thing that I don't think Tom Ford gets credit for with his highlighter formula, because I've tried a few of his highlights now, is or the brand I should say, not him, I don't think he has anything to do with it. The brand really makes their highlighters well suited to mature skin, in my opinion. Like, I find their highlighters to be so natural and melty, like a liquid highlight for the skin truly, and like melting into the skin, and like the perfect amount of like highlight, but without it being like too blingy, and it doesn't have any glitter or anything in it, and it just melts into the skin and looks really natural. Like, I just really think the brand does a great job for like highlighters, especially for like, you know, those of us that might be 30 and up. This was like a controversial one, the Natasha Denona Plexi Glow, because when you look at it, I don't know if it'll still show on camera, but like it has like a slight pink tint, and then I think it's like a green tint, and then it's the white. And so everyone was like, oh, this is going to be like a multicolored kind of highlight. And then you get it and you put it on, and it's just kind of like this goldy shifty highlight. I love it. I honestly do. I reach for this so much more than I ever thought I would, truly. I got this in January and I have used it really consistently throughout the year. I absolutely love it. Again, like, you know, it's great for like, it doesn't enhance texture or anything like that. That's pretty much my biggest thing with highlighters. I don't want them to enhance texture, and I don't want any chunky glitters, like glitter specks or anything on them. And it's just absolutely stunning. Truly. So I don't know, I wasn't disappointed in it. I can't do a highlighter favorites for 2023 without talking about the Chanel highlighter or the oversized highlighter. I got the shade Pearly White, and they have 3 shades, and you can pick your embossing, and I love this. Again, something I use more than I actually thought I would, just because I don't always go towards an icy highlight, but like the other 2 shades in this for me are too deep. But I love this, especially when I use the Rabanne Metal Shot. I like to set it with this one. This one does have a slight glitter fleck to it, but I find like once I use my setting spray, the glitter flecks, sorry, like, and when I say they're like fine, like they are like micro fairy dusting. And then once I use my setting spray, it just all melts into the skin, and I don't have that effect anymore. I don't know, I just love it. And like just the whole packaging, the whole experience, I think it's amazing. Now for blush. So we're gonna do cream blush first. You guys, I have a lot, all right? Some of them, it kind of also looks like a lot because I have multiple shades in the same formula. But you know, if I have multiple shades, you know, absolutely it's a favorite. But I have really, really tried some mind-blowing blushes this year. Mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. So one of the first ones is definitely the Danessa Myricks Yummy Blurring Blush Balms. I can't get enough of these. I'm not going to swatch every single one of these, you guys. I have used all of these on my channel and all that kind of stuff, and I know that's probably not ideal, but I don't know if I have it in me. I have Rosé and Brunch and Jubilee. You'll see a theme. These are all the shades. In fact, I don't even really need to swatch them because it's usually like a nudie pink and a nudie terracotta. That's my shade range. I love these. These are so blurring. All of my cream blushes that I'm about to mention go really well over powder because that's how I like to personally apply my cream blush. And they're just very long wearing, very smoothing. These ones are highly pigmented, so you do want to be a bit mindful when you apply them. But that's what also makes them so great because they suit like every skin tone, and she has a great shade range. It's absolutely amazing. If you have oily skin especially, you will love these. Another cream blush formula that really took hold of me this year is the Rare Beauty liquid blushes. It all started with Virtue. This little bad boy, I just could not go past this shade. And I had tried the Rare Beauty blush formula before, but I just don't think I was like as, I guess, maybe experienced with cream blushes, or I just didn't like the matte version of the Rare Beauty blush one because I had that formula. But this one absolutely blew me away. Like the shade and the formula, the way it looks on the skin, absolutely gorgeous. So then naturally by now I have 4 other shades. Happy and Encourage is these 2, and actually I've got those 2 mixed on my cheeks as blushes today. I mixed them together, and then Worth and Hope is the other ones. And again, I've used all of these products multiple times on my channel. I just absolutely love them. The way that they go on the skin, their longevity, the shade range, the price point, everything about them I absolutely love. They're super pigmented. You only need a small amount. Like, these will last me for my entire life. And do I want to collect all of the shades? Absolutely, because I just think the formula is, again, creme de la creme. A formula that when I first reviewed it did not impress me at all, really. Like, I was like, it's just fine. But the more and more I use it, the more and more I love it. And you know, it is, if you're not new around here, the Pat McGrath Labs Divine Cream Blushes. I love these. Now, I've seen a lot of people complain about the packaging. The packaging is very, like, it would have cost 5 cents for her to make this packaging. I don't really mind it. It doesn't bother me. Like, does it feel very lightweight and cheap? Yes. I like the look of it though with the pink. So that's kind of enough to get me by, if you will, but I love the shade range that she came out with these. This is Sun-Kissed Seduction. This is probably my favorite shade, as you can tell, a terracotta, right? But I love all of the shades she brought out because they're slightly unique. Like, it's like the traditional blush shades that you would expect, but with a slightly unique take on them. These are very dewy, right? So if you have oily skin, I'm not entirely positive that you would love this formula. Again, I apply it over powder. And how I like to do it is I like to just get a brush and like stipple it into the brush and then lightly tap it on. But the thing that I love about it is I will, you know, put this on the cheek and then set it with a powder blush. I do that with every single blush formula. Like, I always do a light layer of liquid and then a light powder layer. That's how I like to do my makeup for every step. But the way that these go on, they are really dewy, and then you kind of set them with the powder blush, but as the day wears on, the way that your cheeks just look so healthy and like plumped up, almost like you've just had like collagen or something like infused into your cheeks, is just absolutely stunning. Like, absolutely stunning. So that effect for me, coupled with the shade range, just makes these so good. This blush as well, oh my goodness, the Violette FR Biscuit blush, they finally came to Mecca and I got the shade Louise. Again, it's like a nudie terracotta. So good. More of a matte finish, so perfect for those of you with combo oily skin if you have that. Oh wow. Wow, wow, wow. Again, just goes over powder so well. Smoothing, blurring, buildable, long wearing, absolutely incredible. I just love and adore it. I love the packaging. If you want the little brush on the other end, it has that. I can't wait to try more from this brand. It's really intriguing to me and I just love this formula. This one from Haus Labs, so this is technically, I guess, also a single shadow if you wish, but I use this as a blush. This is the Pigment Paint and it's in the shade Blush Matte, and it is one of my favorite blush finds of this year. I've used it a few times and I did a full face of Haus Labs recently. So this is the shade right here. Absolutely beautiful, but the thing that I love about this is it goes on so thin and lightweight on the skin. It really is like, wait, are you naturally flushed like that? Like, you actually cannot tell that it is like a makeup product on your skin. It is that like just melting into the skin, but it is a matte finish. So if you want your blush to go on all day and not budge, get yourself this little bad boy, because it really does like go on and stay on the entire day and not budge. And I think even if you have dry skin, I still think you will quite like it. But if you have like combo oily, you will just absolutely fawn over this because it is going to be so stunning on your skin and long wearing. I know I'm teasing you guys with this one because apparently Australia is the only country right now that has this. But wait till you get your little hands on it if you are in another country. The Tom Ford Cream Blush. This is in the shade Cafe Blush. Fortunately, it's the only shade, which sucks because it's not going to suit every skin tone. But hopefully they bring out more shades because beautiful formula. Absolutely gorgeous formula. Again, I have a dedicated review. It's kind of like a cream to powder almost, but not like the full cream to powder, but it's definitely not like it's not like a super emollient cream type formula, if you will. Again, goes really well over powder, very blurring and buildable on the skin, quite long wearing and just an absolutely stunning shade. And like, I love the packaging, I love everything about it. So beautiful. Is that just all of the cream blushes? Yes. Do I have pretty much just as many powder blushes? Yes. Let's get into the powder blushes now. Let's start with Chanel, shall we? So I really discovered Chanel as a makeup brand this year. I'd never really tried any of their products, and it's definitely a brand I want to continue to explore in depth next year because they have blown me away. You know, you find those brands and you're like, the products just vibe with you. That's been Chanel for me this year. The first one is this Tendresse blush palette. So it's like an eyeshadow and blush palette. I love this. I love this. I went backwards and forwards on whether or not I was going to get this. It took ages to come out in Australia and then it finally did. And I was like, I just don't know if I'm going to pick this up and regret it. And then I picked it up and fell head over heels in love with it. I absolutely think this formula is beautiful. It is so, it's like a, I don't know how to describe it. They kind of remind me a little bit of like, I don't know, it's not hourglass formulas that they remind me of, but also a little bit like just that soft, natural, ethereal glow without it enhancing texture or anything. Like I think even if you have oily skin, you'll probably really like this formula. This one's kind of like the highlight, and then these are like blushes, but I also like to use this as a bronzer sometimes. I really like this. I use it way more than I ever thought I would. And then these two right here, as soon as I saw them, did I pick these up for like the pan embossing? Yes. Have I just been over the moon that these are also just amazing blushes? Yes. These are the blush harmonies from Chanel, those kind of fall ones that they released. Oh my Lord, I love these. Like blurring, buildable, great shades. This one's more my favorite just because I love this shade, but absolutely perfect and just absolutely stunning. I love these. Like if they expand the shade range of these, I will 100% pick up other shades. I know they're not going to. It was like a limited edition collection, but still, I just absolutely love them. Absolutely love them. My all-time favorite blush formula from this year though, and might actually be my all-time favorite blush formula period, the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Blushes. Holy dooly. These are so good. These are so good. I will eventually collect all of the shades. I really will. I'm trying to be good. You can see how many blushes I have. I don't need that many, but just the reason why I want all of these shades is just purely because this formula for me is it. So I have the shade 10 and 30. Absolutely gorgeous. I was so bummed the blush duo that they released for holidays in the US, they didn't release it over here in Australia. I was so bummed. I was going to pick that up. Anyway, I love this. It's like, again, buildable, blurring, smooth, long wearing, blah, 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 but also just has this impeccable, healthy finish to it. Like you've just had a facial, and that's what I love the most about it, where I don't love a glowy blush. If it's too glowy and too metallic-y, it accentuates my pores. I hate it. I do not like that look on me, but this is like the perfect combination of like glow and blurring, and I love them. I love them. They are some of the best blushes I've ever tried in my life. Dior Rosewood, specifically, like this Backstage blush, I just love this. Again, I love the formula of this. This is more of a matte finish, but I specifically love this shade. I find myself reaching for Dior Rosewood quite a lot because I just find this is a really nice everyday shade and complements pretty much any makeup look that you've got going on. And again, it's just like all of these powder blushes that I'm about to talk about, like the formula is like blurring, buildable, and just ethereal on the skin, which is what I personally love. Although this one is definitely a matte finish, and yeah, but this one as well is just the shade so good. The Givenchy Prisme Libre, I always say Givenchy, so weird. Organza Cyan, again, I mean these are all the same shade, okay, don't come for me. I like to try the formulas, but I know what shades I like. It's a little bit tedious being that it's a loose powder blush, but you know, that doesn't bother me at all. I love the shade, and again, like a little bit more pigmented than the other ones I've mentioned, but I love the way that this looks on the cheeks. It's more of a matte cloud-like finish, like it's very, very soft and cloudy on the skin in like a really good way. And yeah, I don't know, I just love it. But it is a little bit more finessey, so if you don't want to bother with like a loose powder, go for like the Dior or the Giorgio or whatever. Two matte blushes that again, this brand just gets slept on is Sigma. These are incredible. I picked up another shade in the sale. So I originally started with Berry Love, and now I have Corte Rosa. Corte Rosa is actually the powder blush I'm wearing on my cheeks right now. Again, absolutely stunning. Definitely a matte finish, but like really blurring, buildable, soft. Have a little bit more pigment to them. You just want to like, not crazy pigmented, but you'll be a little bit more mindful using these than say like the Giorgio Armani ones. They build up quite well, but still that's not a bad thing because it means it's going to suit more skin tones. Just an absolutely incredible formula. You can usually get these on a really good discount. Like again, don't sleep on Sigma. That is all of my cheek product favorites for 2023. I know there was a lot of favorites, but honestly, like I love all of those products so intensely for one reason or another. I just can't pick between them. They deserve a shout out because they're that good, truly. So yeah, let me know some of your cheek product favorites. Do you have favorites that I didn't mention that maybe I need to try? Because I love trying new products, you know that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it and it was fun. And hopefully I'll catch you in the next one, which will be like mainly lip products as well. And yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you're watching till this point, you know you're an absolute legend. Thank you so, so much. I truly appreciate you. And I hope you have the most amazing day wherever you are in the world. And I will see you next time. Bye.